Healthy Chef Cardiologist Nancy Waldeck. I do three things. I travel, I taste, and I teach. I travel everywhere to taste the most delicious food, and then I bring it home so I can teach it to you. A little better, but still delicious. I'm thrilled to be doing this with Shana today. Shana Kormar, who's our dietitian at Piedmont Cancer Wellness Center. She's going to provide you the dietary information. I'm going to give you all the culinary tips. We're going to make 3 veggie burgers in this series, and the 3 veggie burgers are all easy. They're all easily attainable ingredients, and they're all super good, and they freeze great. So what's wrong with that? We're going to start off with a lentil burger. Now, we've made lentil burgers before in the Piedmont Cancer Wellness Kitchen, but this one's a little bit different because it's got a Mediterranean flair to it. The lentils that we're using are just plain old brown lentils that you can buy in the regular grocery store. These lentils, this whole bag is about 2 1/4 cups of lentils. We're going to use 1 cup of lentils because we want 3 cups of the finished product. We want 3 cups of prepared lentils. Super easy, y'all, just like we do rice. 1, 2, 3. 1 cup of lentils to 2 cups of water, a pinch of salt, and you end up with 3 cups of prepared lentils, which is what I've got right in here in my food processor. The other thing I've got in my food processor are 4 large eggs. I put both of those together along with another little pinch of salt, and now I'm going to process them up. So here we go. And with any luck at all, we can get it going. All right. Now, I use the pulse often because I like actually whole lentils with a lot of structure in them in my lentil burgers because I want them to kind of taste like meat. So I don't process them all the way. I don't make them like a puree. I do them just like this. So can you all see that? So there's some whole lentils in there as well. I'm going to take my bowl here and put my lentils right into my bowl. Scrape them right in there. So remember, that's just the 3 ingredients. The lentils, the 4 eggs, and a little bit of salt. So there we go. And I'm going to put this back over here. And we'll set our lentils and our eggs aside because we've already got those going. And now I've got a few other ingredients, and you can see them right on my cutting board here. I've got some panko breadcrumbs. I have about a cup of panko. Now, when you're making veggie burgers, you have to not only have something like eggs to keep everything together, you also have to have something like panko breadcrumbs. Now, I like the panko ones because they're fluffier instead of regular breadcrumbs. If you wanted to use something else, you could use maybe rice or crush up rice crackers or even like ground almonds, but we're using breadcrumbs in our veggie burgers because they're easy to find, they're inexpensive, and sometimes I can even find the whole wheat panko crumbs. Today, not so much, but just buy regular old panko breadcrumbs if you can't find the whole wheat ones, and use the panko instead of just the regular American or Progresso or whatever it is breadcrumbs, because the smaller the breadcrumb, the harder pack your veggie burger is going to be. So, cup of panko breadcrumbs in there. A couple other things. I've got a couple tablespoons, and I was generous with the parsley. A couple tablespoons of parsley. You know, when I brought my parsley home from the grocery store, I rinsed it well, I dried it a little bit, and then I rolled it in paper towels, put it in a plastic bag, left it open, put it in the fridge. So there's my parsley. I've got about a 1/4 cup of grated carrots. I like the ones that I grate myself. It's not a lot of carrots, so try and grate them yourself. I also have some red onions right here, just some chopped red onions. They're not only going to add flavor, but they're also going to add color like the carrots do. And let me tell you, those lentils need a little bit of color. They're not very pretty. Okay, so now I have some tomato paste, and you're thinking, why has she got tomato paste in a plastic bag? The reason I do is because when you buy tomato paste in the can, you almost never use it up, do you? So what I do is with my leftover tomato paste, I put it in a tablespoon or 2 tablespoon little snack bags and I throw it in the freezer. It freezes great. And I know what it is because I put the date when I did it. This one, oh, I did this one 3/17, and I put tomato paste on here. And I put it in a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons bags. And I'm gonna use about a tablespoon here, so I'm gonna use the whole thing. And the only thing that you need to do to defrost it is to just let it sit on the counter for a little while. If it's only a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons, it won't take long to defrost. I'm gonna put in a couple tablespoons of Italian seasoning. That's what's gonna give our lentil burger its Mediterranean flair. So a couple tablespoons of Italian seasoning. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I wish y'all were here. It's like aromatherapy. And then last but not least, a little bit more salt again. So I've added a little salt 3 different times, so I'm layering the salt in so that I don't have to put a lot of salt in at any one time. So all I'm gonna do now is take this and just stir it up. See why I said you needed a lot of color, because it's kind of brown. Those lentils are not very pretty. And I use those brown lentils on purpose. We're gonna be using orange lentils in another one of the recipes, but these brown lentils are more structurally sound. And I want some pieces of lentil, some whole pieces of lentil in there. Now what I'm gonna do is take my lentil burger mixture and I'm gonna put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. Why do I do that? I want some of the panko to absorb up some of the other flavors in there, and I want to make it stiff enough that I can pat it out into patties. But fortunately, I've got some that I did earlier, and so I'm going to set these 2 things aside. I've got some I did earlier so we can see it. And let me grab them. So here we go. What I did was I set my oven at 350 when I started the lentil burgers, so it preheated nicely. Then once I got the burger mixture out of the fridge, kept it in there for about 30 minutes, I patted it into patties. One recipe of this is gonna make somewhere around 7 or 8 burgers. If you make smaller ones, like slider size, you're gonna get 12 to 16, but this is what they look like when they come out of the oven. Of course, it's not right out of the oven because I'm touching the pan, but I put it on parchment, and I did put a little bit of oil on the parchment. I sprayed it with my sprayer just because these burgers have no oil in them. So I just wanted to make sure that they would come off really easily. So now I'm gonna make our topping for our burgers. And y'all, if I was making these to freeze ahead of time, I'd go ahead and cook them, let them cool, and then package them individually or put some parchment in between each one of the layers of the burgers. So about 7 or 8 for this recipe, 12 to 16 for smaller ones. So I'm gonna set this behind me. And I'm gonna talk about our fun topping for these burgers. So here we go. So we're gonna make a rustic Mediterranean style olive salsa. Doesn't that sound good? And to do that, the first thing I wanna do is chop up about a cup of green, black olives, whatever you like. Now I'm using those fun Castelvetrano olives from Sicily. You can find them in the regular grocery store. That's where that Mazzetti, remember we sometimes talk about Mazzetti as the place that in California that makes all the good pickles and olives and things like that. So I've got Calmata and Castelvetrano in here. That's about a cup. Now I want to roast a red pepper. And some of you all know how that I do it, but I'm going to show you real quickly just in case you don't. So I've got a big old red pepper right here, and what I'm going to do is start by taking the top and then the bottom off the red pepper. And now I have a perfectly flat red pepper on the bottom, because you know, along with any vegetable or fruit, you want to make sure it's flat on the board so it doesn't rock and roll. Now what I want to do is just make a slit down the side, open it up, and that allows me to take off all the insides very easily. I'm going to grab a sheet tray. And since I'm just doing one pepper, I'm going to get the small one. But you know, this is such a great idea to do a whole bunch of peppers at one time. I'm going to grab some aluminum foil, put it on my sheet tray, and I'm doing this for a reason. I'll tell you in just a moment. I'm going to take my pepper and put it on the sheet tray. And of course, I'm going to use the top and the bottom too. And I'm going to set the insides and the top, the stem of the pepper aside. Now, I'm going to put this in the oven under the broiler. And it's going to take, depending on how hot your broiler goes, 8 to 10 minutes maybe. So I'm going to do that. But while I wait for these to be done, I've got some I've already got done. So a little earlier, I pulled these out of the oven, and you see what I did? I made a package out of the aluminum foil, and I did that because I want these peppers to steam some, so that the skin will come right off the pepper. But I didn't take them apart because I wanted you to see what they look like. So here we go. And look how black these peppers are, y'all. And you can just leave them in your aluminum foil until it's cool enough that you can pull the skin off. So can you see that? Can you see how black that skin is? Okay, so now I'm just going to take off the bits of the black skin. And y'all, do this, it's really fast and easy, but do this on your aluminum foil or your cutting board or something. Don't put it underneath running water because you'll lose a lot of your roasty, toasty flavor. And I'm not real persnickety about getting all the black pieces off. Here's my bottom. It kind of fell apart in 2 pieces. And here we go. Look at how easy this is. It's like 15 or 20 seconds to peel the whole red pepper. Yay! And I don't have to mess with all the icky seeds and stems and everything that's in the middle. So I'm going to set this aside because I cut it earlier. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, I think, just slice this very thinly to put into my olive salsa. Oh gosh, roasted red peppers smell so good, don't they? So there is the first part of our red peppers. Yay! Okay. Oh, and they're so pretty too. And then let me grab this part. And I like the kind of the sticks, the long thin pieces of the pepper in this because the olives are round. And then here's my bottom. Oh, just having those roasted red peppers, y'all. Just a little bit of olive oil, maybe some garlic, salt and pepper. Yum. All right. Now I've got that done, and I'll set this aside because we just have a couple more ingredients for our salsa. I'm going to put in a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I call for about a couple tablespoons. I'm going to put in some red pepper flakes, and y'all know I like things a little bit of spicy, but if you don't put in as many. I got about a teaspoon. You can put in a 1/4 teaspoon if you'd like. And then I have some oregano. So oregano is one of the ingredients that was also in the lentil burgers. So we are really amping up that flavor of the Mediterranean. Last but not least, I have some black pepper. And remember, you want to grind it yourself. If you're still using that red and white tin that comes out of the spice cabinet, and y'all know what I'm talking about, that is not pepper, that is black dust. I'm being silly, but pepper really does have flavor. Okay, here we go. Here is my olive salsa. Oh, it's so pretty and it smells so good, y'all. That briny, pickly smell of the olives and the roasty toasty smell of the red peppers. Here we go. Look, I've got some of our lentil burgers now. I have some little rounds that I cut out of some rustic whole wheat bread, but you can just use regular bread. You can use whatever you like. But I like this burger open-faced, so I can put lots of this gorgeous, ooh, I'm losing olives everywhere. Gorgeous olive salsa on top. Look at these. I can't wait. They look so delicious. So here we go. Doesn't that look like a great lunch or dinner? Oh my gosh. And you know, these burgers kind of even look like real meat. Okay, so there are the Mediterranean style lentil burgers. Super easy. Yeah, these are super fast. Make the entire recipe, eat half tonight or in a couple days, put the rest in the freezer. They'll be good for a long time. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to showing you the other 2 recipes. Bye.